There you go. You're good.
It's online.
Yes.
الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهدي الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما ثم ما بعد فإن خير كلام الله تبارك وتعالى وخير هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار وبعد. This morning, bi'ithnillah tabarak wa ta'ala, we want to combine between yesterday's khutbah, which was at Masjid al-Tawheed in Liberty, New York, upstate New York, and the lecture that we had last night, there again, the Masjid al-Tawheed. Tabarak wa ta'ala bless the Imam Abdul Shahid and the community there, Akh al-Fadl Abdul Aziz al-Maghribi, and those brothers there for their establishment and their maintaining that community, which is a very vital and vibrant part of that city. We ask Allah Tabarak wa ta'ala to give them a great reward in this life and hereafter, and to protect them and their city from all types of evil and all that is from harm. Ameen. We want to combine the two talks because it was such a benefit that I would really feel sad if the people missed the benefit on the Marcus online. And we discovered that the khutbah did not go up yesterday for some technical reason, as well as part of the lesson last night was cut off from the topic, the 10 things, which the topic itself is al-huquq da'a ilayhi al-fitrah, and that is loosely translated the rights that Islam calls to. But I chose to make the title the 10 biggest rights that Islam propagates, or and this is because they are from the 10 biggest. Is there more? The word haqooq means what someone deserves or something that is due to them. This is the meaning of haqooq, rights. But someone would think these are the only rights in Islam. No, but these are the 10 major ones. And this was actually an essay written by Al-Imam Muhammad ibn Salih al-Uthaymeen rahimahullah ta'ala. So we took from that, and this was the lecture last night. As for the khutbah, then we took the shurut la ilaha illallah, the pillars, not the pillars, the conditions, the conditions of la ilaha illallah. And this was taken from the work of Shaykh al-Islam Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab, and we took some benefit from that explanation of Shaykh Abdul Razak ibn Abdul Muhsin, as he taught this in the Prophet's Masjid, as many of the people of knowledge teach this issue about La ilaha illallah, its position in the religion and its conditions. So we'll combine, inshallah, tabarak wa ta'ala, hopefully in a swift way, the two of those lessons, inshallah ta'ala. The first portion is the key to Jannah. And we said the key to Jannah, as the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he mentioned, man mat, no, I don't want that hadith. It's early in the morning, so I gotta get my brain right. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he mentioned, man akhira kalimatun la ilaha illallah. Man akhira kalimatun la ilaha illallah dakhala Jannah. The Prophet mentioned, which is an authentic hadith narrated by Uthman ibn Affan, that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, whoever his last statement is La ilaha illallah, he will enter the Jannah. So this is many of the scholars' evidence to say that the Shahada is the key to Jannah, because the Prophet said, whoever's last statement is that, he will enter the Jannah. And we know that Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala's Prophet, in the famous hadith, it's authentic, he went to visit the Jew boy. He went to visit the Jewish young boy who was sick. And he told the young Jewish boy, he said, Qul la ilaha illallah, say la ilaha illallah. And so the boy looked at his father, and his father told him, Utir Abu Qasim, because this was one of the nicknames of the Prophet ﷺ, because he's the one that would distribute, he was the one that would divide the wealth to give out to the people, sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, when they have the zakah and they have the ghanaim, that which they gain from the fighting and so forth. This is one of the reasons the scholars say he's called Abu Qasim. And so that boy was told to obey the Prophet, and thus he said, La ilaha illallah, and the Prophet praised Allah. He said, praise be to Allah who has saved this boy from the fire now. So this we understand that the Shahada, it is the key to the Jannah. The talk yesterday was talking about this matter, the key to the Jannah, but that the narration of Wahb ibn Munabbah, which he is from the Tabi'een, Wahb ibn Munabbah. And in the history books, they mention that his ancestry goes back to Yemen, like his grandparents, something of this effect. And Wahb, he was asked, as there was a debate about whether or not a person, he should be concerned with doing deeds, or is it just enough that he or she has taken Shahada? So as this Naza' bain al-nas, waqa'a amama Wahban, in front of Wahban, the people were debating this. And so they asked him to prove the point. They said, is not the Shahada the key to Jannah? So imagine you want to prove your point, you're in an argument. So you say, Sheikh Kasha, didn't the Prophet ﷺ say this? Is not this the issue, this point here in the religion? It's not this true like this? And I say, yeah. So you say, see? So, but it didn't happen just like that. Because Wahb, he not only answered them and said, yes, the statement, La ilaha illallah, is your key to Jannah. He said, وَلِكُلِّ مِفْتَاحٍ أَسْنَانٍ Naam, وَلِكُلِّ مِفْتَاحٍ أَسْنَانٍ. He said, but however, to every key, there are some ridges, there are some teeth. He called it teeth. You know the old key, it's made out of steel, has two real-like teeth. If those teeth are broken, the key doesn't work, that old-fashioned key. Now, today, we have ridges. They have like little cuts, grooves. If those cuts don't fit the cylinder, then it won't turn. But back in the old days, the key has teeth. So they used this example. So to every key, there are teeth. And if the teeth are there, futihah al-bab, the door will open, that which the key is designed to open. وَإِلَّمْ يَكُونْ أَسْنَانٍ فَلَمْ يُفْتَحْ. And if the teeth are not there on the key, guess what? No matter which way you turn it, right, left, How many times you take it out, put it back in, what's going to happen to that key? It's not going to open what it's designed to open. So the point that Wahbin was making is that, yeah, Shahada is the key to Jannah. But however, there's some teeth to that key that are the conditions that go along with Shahada. I mean, the ulama, when they talk about this, Wallahu musta'an, they give the example of the issue of Salah. Salah, laha, يعني ماذا بارك الله فيكم شروط. نعم, والضوابط. And it has conditions. And it has things to make the Salah itself correct. Now, it has conditions. It has arrangement, order. Can't just pray the way that you want. Someone feels good, says, okay, my iman is really low. I need to make a lot of sajda. So today I'm going to start out praying in sajda. So he talks to be Allahu Akbar, then he goes into sajda. He can't do that. He has to start salah in qiyam, standing, you see. So not only have the arrangement, the order, the tartib, as they say in Arabic, of the salah, but you have the shurut, those things that without them, that salah is not proper, it's not accepted. Likewise, you have sawm, fasting. It has conditions. Now, from the conditions of sawm, lazim an yakun musliman. You have to be a Muslim. Now, in order to fast and to receive the reward from Allah, you have to believe in Allah properly. If not, then you will not believe that fasting is legislated and that He's going to reward you. And they make all of the examples all the way to the issue of Hajj has its conditions. So if those things have conditions, while the Shahada is the greatest from amongst those 5 pillars of Islam, then of course the Shahada has to have conditions. Now, for the Shahada, it has conditions. They also give the example of a prophet who came, and he mentioned that he is like the missing link, So therefore, these conditions are part of the missing link for a person's shahada. So they mentioned that it is not majority the mere statement that will get you into Jannah, but it's the statement with the conditions that follow. So the poetry, the line of poetry that the scholars of the past in their books that they wrote, some styles of writing is a style of monadam, poetry. Another style is regular writing, in detail and chapter and section. So when they wrote in poetry, they developed a line to help you know what are the conditions of the Shahada. Some of them have mentioned that there are 7. Others have added an 8th one. Those that don't add the 8th one, they said there's no need, because that 8th one that the others add is inclusive in all of the 7 that everyone agrees to. And then others say that this 8th one is separate from the 7th and it must be itemized, so they mention the 8th one. Both of these positions are okay. Both of them are correct. The ulama, they mentioned about these 7 conditions. The first one is ilm, naam, of the shahada, ilm. And they said that the ilm here means that a person, he has to have the knowledge of the meaning of the shahada. He has to have the knowledge of the meaning of the shahada, who Allah Azza wa Jal is, and what the shahada entails. Many times you find people that accept Islam and they just leave. And the people, they say, Takbir, Allahu Akbar, like this, and they're happy. But the person doesn't know that he's Muslim now, which means he can't go to church and worship Jesus anymore. He thinks that this is an add-on. He's accepted a religion, but she may continue to hold on to the past belief. No, this is wrong. It's to nullify your Islam. Rather, you never enter Islam until you negate the false deity. As Allah Ta'ala said, وَمَن يَكْفُرْ بِالطَّاغُوتِ, whoever disbelieves in the false deities. And this is why Allah Ta'ala, and the phrase he started with negation, La ilaha. The La here is negation. It's like disbelieving, and that which is a object to be worshipped besides Allah. Then Allah said, illallah, making it clear that there is ilahun or ilahun haq. He is the true one to be worshipped, while those that are besides him in worship, they are false. So here the same thing. That person cannot accept shahada and still say, well, I believe in Jesus too. Meaning as a Lord besides Allah, or the Son of Allah, or the three of the three. No. As Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala clearly, He said, لَقَدْ كَفْرَ الَّذِينَ قَالُوا إِنَّ اللَّهَ هُوَ الْمَسِيحُ بُنُ مَرْيَمَ. And Allah said, indeed, those who say that the Son of Mary, He is Allah, they have disbelieved. Allah called them kafaru. وقال الله سبحانه وتعالى في كتاب الكريم لقد كفر الذين قالوا إن الله ثالث ثلاثة. And indeed, those who say Allah is the third of three. What did Allah mean by that? The Trinity. He said they kafaru, they disbelieve. So the person has to be upon ilm. He has to know the shahada with a meaning, and not just the proper pronunciation and dry meaning. There's no God but Allah. La, even that is a shubuhat. That's a kul. There's no God but Allah. Hada laysa sahih. Because the word God is in Arabic, it comes from the word Allah. Allah, ma'lul. Something that is deified. Something that is deemed to be supreme and great, and that you give a high level of magnification to that thing. So this is what's called in Arabic also ma'bud, an object, something that you obey, something that you feel that you are very subservient to, something that is superior while you to it is inferior. So this, many people have taken the cow as that. Many people have taken tamathil wal asnam, those that are considered idols and statues as that. Many people have taken angels and prophets, and some people even, believe it or not, they hold a shaitan, a'adam billah. They hold the devil in that regard as a deity to be worshipped. So the meaning la ilaha illallah does not mean there is no God but Allah. There is no one to be worshipped but Allah, but it means la ma'lud. No one should be worshipped bihaqqin, with the right to be worshipped. It's not for him to be worshipped. It's to be given only to Allah, and this is the meaning of la ilaha illallah. No one has the right to be worshipped. No one is deserving of that except Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. If it meant there's no God but Allah, then Allah would not have said, Lakum dinukum waliyadeen, to they be their way of worship and to you be yours, Muhammad. Allah would not have said, and لَقَدْ كَفَرَ الَّذِينَ قَالُوا إِنَّ اللَّهَ ثَالِثُ ثَلَاثًا. Those who say Allah is the third of three, they disbelieve. Allah subhanahu would not, Azza wa Jal, name those other people from the people of shirk if there was only one God. Now, so the knowledge is the point. The first condition of the shahada, you have to have knowledge. You have to be aware of what the shahada stands for. Just as the Prophet ﷺ said in the hadith of Uthman ibn Affan, which comes in the Sahih of Muslim, the hadith of Uthman ibn Affan, which comes in the Sahih of Muslim, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Uthman, he said, قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم من مات, man whosoever mats, dies. كل نفس ذائقة الموت. Everyone is going to do this. If you're 20 years old, guarantee in the next 100 years you won't be here. No one's going to live to be 120. وإن كان كذلك هو يعني معين. This is if it takes place, it's a special case. Some people have lived to be 135. Remember when I was in Yemen, there was a guy, he was 110 at that time. No, he was 114. Walking around, still going to the bathroom, able to talk, Allah musta'an. But you can tell in his mind he was reverting like a kid in some instances. But they said his father lived to be 135. But guarantee you, someone today, if he's 20, Allah musta'an, he may not live to be that long. If so, he definitely will not go beyond 150. So this means everyone is going to die. For the Prophet ﷺ, he said in the hadith of Uthman, Man mats, whosoever dies, وَهُوَ يَعْلَمُ أَنَّهُ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ, and he knows, he has knowledge this means of La ilaha illallah. Not just he or she said it, but they have the meaning, and they have taken shahada based upon knowledge. They know what it means to say that Allah is the one should be worshipped. They know that the essence of this means no one else can be worshipped besides Allah. They know that this means that Allah, He's the owner, the creator, and the sustainer of everything. They know that in His hands is all of the good, and that which is bad He has created out of wisdom for you to learn and to be tested. They know that He has the best names and qualities and actions, and even if they are somewhat similar in some way to what He created as a way of honoring them, they're still not the same. As Allah, He speaks and we speak, but do we speak the same? No. Are we free to speak forever in any way that we like and at any time? No, but Allah, He is. He's not restricted. He will speak whenever, however, and to whoever He wishes. So this is part of knowing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that's why the Prophet said, Man mat, whoever dies, وَيَعْلَمَ أَنَّهُ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهُ دَخَلَ الْجَنَّةِ, and he knows the shahada based upon knowledge, and he has knowledge about that shahada. He's not just saying a statement. The Prophet said he will enter the Jannah. Now, the ulama, they said, وَالْجَهْلُ مَاذَا هُوَ الَّذِي أَقْص, and ignorance is the opposite of the knowledge. Therefore, they said al-ilmu munafi bi-jahl. Therefore, the knowledge will wipe away and negate someone's ignorance. So you have two ways to understand this. Al-ilmu munafi bi-jahl. Knowledge nullifies ignorance. If you don't know something, if you're ignorant, and then Allah blesses you to come into the knowledge of that thing, you're not ignorant anymore of that particular thing. So it canceled out the ignorance. It replaced it, the knowledge. Likewise, one of the meanings the scholars they also give al-ilmu munafi bil-jahl is that ilm can be the thing that ignorance wipes away. If you have knowledge and then ignorant plagues or mixes with that knowledge, it can wipe away the knowledge. So it's both ways. The ilm negates the knowledge of a person that's mixed. If he has a knowledge and he's mixing that knowledge with ignorance, or it's pure ignorance, the knowledge will take care of that. It will remove that mixed knowledge and ignorance, or will remove that which is total ignorance. And then likewise, if a person has knowledge, if the ignorance comes, it will wipe away the knowledge. It will cover the knowledge. It will remove the person's knowledge, his ignorance. That's why Musa, he said, A'udhu billahi an akuna min al-jahilin. I seek refuge that I should be amongst and with the foolish, the ignorant. Because this will taint your knowledge. So the ilmu manafi bi-jahl, the knowledge negates and wipes away that which is ignorance. It replaces it. And likewise, and I know that the ignorance, it will taint the knowledge. It will wipe away the knowledge. Naam, Allah musta'an. The second thing, barakallahu fikum, the second condition to the shahada, the key to the Jannah, is the issue of al-yaqeenu. Al-yaqeenu, that which is certainty. And many times the people, you will find them firm today, not sure tomorrow. A little bit uncertain today, maybe stronger next month. And this is not yaqeen. This is not yaqeen. Yaqeen, they said in Arabic, it means the word jaziman, something that's firm. It will not be shaken. La yataraddat wa la muza'za'. Yataraddat, that person is going back and forth, back and forth. He's wishy-washy. He's on this side and that side and this side and that side. He's not firmly grounded. And also, this also includes if a person has doubt, he's not sure, has done speculation, he has different perceptions and thoughts, then all of this is the opposite of yaqeen. And that's why Tabarak wa Ta'ala, he mentioned in the Quran, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابِ, and then what did he say about the book? He said, لَا عُرْبَ فِيهِ, so that the person will not have any doubt when he reads the book of Allah. Allah said, لَا عُرْبَ فِيهِ, there's no doubt in it. Now, and Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, he also mentioned, وَلَوْلَا مِنْ عِنْدِ غَيْرِ اللَّهِ لَوَجَدُوا فِيهِ اخْتِلَافًا كَثِيرًا, and had the Quran been from a human being, that's the kuffar, they claimed that the Prophet wrote the Quran from the Bible. Shame on them. Allahu musta'an. How negligent is this statement? How false is this prediction? When the Prophet is clear, he was a ummi. Ummi means ummi, a person that could not read. Ummiyin. And not like a mother. Ummiyin means someone who did not possess, he did not possess, he did not learn the skills of reading, writing. Doesn't mean that you're dumb. As many people in our time have become very famous. They have become very instrumental in society. They achieved high lengths of education and goals while they didn't formally graduate from high school, 8th grade. They didn't. But they are like, in some cases, heads of companies, and they made inventions and all kind of stuff. So the lack of those skills doesn't mean that the person's dumb. It's just a fact that the skill of reading and writing will increase a person in his ability to talk, his diction, his understanding, and so forth. So it's clear that Salam was ummiyin, Allah said. That prophet that Allah sent, bil huda wa din al-haq, with the huda, revelation, din al-haq, Islam, he was a person that could not read and write. So for them to say that the Quran that the Prophet came with, he wrote it with his hand, he took it from the Bible. Some say it's folk tales. Some say it was from the shaitan, he inspired the Prophet. They say all kind of nonsense. The point here is that is not yaqeen. The Muslims know and believe without a shadow of the doubt that Quran is from Allah wa ta'ala. And Allah said if it was from other than Allah, you would find all of the discrepancies and things that are contradicting. Now, so this is the issue of yaqeen. You have to be certain. And that's why Allah wa ta'ala, he said that the book, la rayba fi. There's no crookedness, no tales, no falsehood, so that people can be on certainty, which is al-yaqeen. Allah wa ta'ala also mentioned, and indeed, the true believer is the one, he believes in Allah and his messenger. You cannot believe in Allah and not believe in the messenger. That's not a true believer. You have believed some, but you have not believed properly. You have not believed in the sense of what is true belief, because you have to believe in the messenger. You cannot say I believe in the messenger, but I don't believe that Allah is to be worshipped alone. You can worship the deceased along with Allah. La, this is not any belief. True belief is to believe in Allah and his messenger, and that which they commanded us to believe in, that which they commanded us to believe in. Thus Allah said, إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. Indeed, the true believers, those who believe billahi and Allah, and everything that's connected to Allah, everything about Allah wa ta'ala, his books, his messengers, and all of his actions, all of his names, all of his abilities, all of that which Allah has that we don't know about, we believe in it. All of the knowledge that Allah has of different things, we believe in it. The known, the unknown, that which he told us, that which he didn't reveal to us, we know it. We believe in it. Wa rasulihi, anything about the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, any statement that he mentions, we believe in it. That which he predicted, we believe in it. That which he did as an action, we believe in it. It's the best, we believe in it. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we have to believe in it. Then Allah said, thumma lam yartabu. And this shows that a person has believed totally, and his iman is intact. The fact that Allah said thumma. In Arabic, thumma means a complete action or thought or some type of thing has taken place totally. This is when they use thumma. You have completed something totally. Now the next thing is about to happen. And Allah said, lam yartabu. He does not have any doubt in that issue after he has believed truly in Allah and his message. So this shows that Muslims are not guaranteed because they make shahada that they are guided. No, because you can be guided by your shahada, but then if doubt sets in, if that which is confusion or not being certain steps in, then your Islam is nullified. And this is what Imam al-Baghawi, he said, ثُمَّ لَمْ يُرْتَابُوا. This ayat, Allah said, لَمْ يُرْتَاب. ثُمَّ لَمْ يُشَكَّكُوا. That means do not have any doubt. This is what Imam al-Baghawi said in his tafsir of this ayat. وَذَكَرَ كَذَلِكَ Imam Ibn Qayyim al-Jawziyah كذلك. And Ibn Qayyim al-Jawziyah mentioned the same thing, that this ayat means the person becomes a person in doubt. And Ibn Qayyim al-Jawziyah, he said, rape wa shak huwa min al-munafiqeen. If that person has some doubt after true belief, then he becomes from the hypocrites. He becomes from the people that will be in the fire, a Muslim on the outside, but a disbeliever at heart. And this is why the issue of yaqeen, the second condition, is important. The yaqeen, they said the yaqeen yanafi ma'adha barakallahu fikum bishak. If you have certainty, it will wipe away all of the doubts, all of the scrupulous things. If you are certain, then that thing won't be an issue for you. And that's why anytime you have a doubt, you leave the doubt and you stay with that which you are sure about now. The third condition, they said, barakallahu fikum al-ikhlasu. Al-ikhlasu. And the ikhlas, as Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala gave the example in the Arabic language of labanan, safih, pure clean milk. And how Allah mentioned in the Quran that you will find the milk coming from the same area that the babies are in, and the same area where you have blood flow. But Allah, out of His might and as a sign that He's able to do all things, still when you squeeze that teeter to get the milk from the animal, you get pure milk. It's not mixed with blood, no traces of blood, no traces of afterbirth or the things that the animal has for his protection. You get pure milk. So this is one of the examples the ulama used to explain what is ikhlas. Means nothing is mixed with your worship to Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. Nothing is mixed with the tawheed, your belief in Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. This is ikhlasu. Need to be safi, pure, clean in your belief, in your worship, in your actions. This all is called ikhlasu. And so what the ikhlas, yunafi barakallahu fikum mada biridda. And the thing that will wipe away your pure belief, your pure worship, your pure thoughts, as being outside the religion, ridda. And that's why the biggest thing is they want to turn you back from your religion. Now, وَدَّ كَثِيرٌ مِّنْ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ يُرُدُّونَكُمْ مِّن بَعْدِ إِيمَانِكُمْ كُفَّارًا حَسَدًا. And Allah said many of the people of the book, not all of them, because some of them, Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala decreed they will accept Islam. Some of them, they won't accept Islam, but they'll be a friend and a lend and a helping hand to the Muslims. Like Najashi, the great king of Ethiopia. He himself was a great hand and a friend to the Muslims. The first hijrah from our legacy of leaving Mecca during the time when it was not a Muslim country was to Habashia, which is Ethiopia now. And thus Najashi accepted Islam during his time and he died as a Muslim. So yes, some Allah Azza wa Jal mentioned from the people of the book, they would like to turn you back to this belief. Out of jealousy, out of, because we don't have this, or they think they believe who they are, we want to show them they're not that righteous, out of hostilities and that which is, hasad, because they don't have something, they gave it away, now they don't want anybody to have it, and that's the true iman on Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. Want to turn you back on Tabarak wa Ta'ala. He said about the pagans to the Prophet Sallam, they will not cease to fight against you and war against you hatta yuruddukum an dinikum, until they push you out of your religion, in istata'u, if they can. Now, so the issue of ikhlas is taken away by ridda, meaning the opposite of yani pure tawheed and pure worship is yani that which is kufr and shirk, and this is ridda. So the ikhlas will push away and wipe away that which is apostation, that which is disbelief, and likewise the apostation and the disbelief will wipe away your ikhlas, will nullify your deen. That was the third condition. And the fourth condition, barakallahu fikum, mada as-sidqu. As-sidqu, naam, truthfulness. And wallahi, Shaykh Abdul Razak, when he was teaching about this subject back in December, when we made the Umrah, may Allah accept from us our Umrah, he mentioned when he got to Sidq, he said they are directly tied together. The issue of Sidq, truthfulness, and the issue of Ikhlas. The issue that we just left, Ikhlas, being pure in your worship and in your belief, is directly tied to Sidqah, truthfulness. And that, if a person does not have Sidq, which is truthfulness, he has kadab, he is a person that has some untruthfulness with him or denial with him about something, then this directly, diametrically means that he does not have ikhlas. It can't be pure and clean and that which is tawheed. So here the Sidq, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala said, وَكُونُوا مَعَ الصَّادِقِينَ, Naam, and be with the truthful. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala's Prophet said, عَلَيْكُمْ بِالصِّدْقَةِ, and I command you to have truthfulness. Now, command you to have truthfulness. لأن يعني ماذا صدق يهدي إلى البر, because definitely the truthfulness will lead you to do righteous deeds. وإن البر يهدي إلى الجنة, and righteous deeds leads and puts a person in the path of the Jannah. Now, so this sidq, the fourth condition, the fourth key to the shahada working is truthfulness. Now, and they said was sidq munafi that kadab, and the sidq will nullify that which is falsehood, kadab. It will nullify that which is the opposite of truth. Now, inna ma'ala inna al-haqqa zahaku batil. Naam, Allah Azza wa Jal said, in truth will pulverize, demolish that which is falsehood. Naam, sidq munafi that kadab. Naam, it will wipe away that which is kadab. وكذلك الكذب ماذا بارك الله فيكم منافي لماذا الصدق, and the opposite holds true. Truthfulness will wipe away and demolish your lying and that which is trickery and deceit. Therefore, trickery and deceit, lying, will nullify your truthfulness. It works both ways. Now, number 5, al-muhabba. Naam, al-muhabba, that which is love. Muhabba, love. And the ulama, they say the first level of this muhabba, to love Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. Tuhib Allah Jalla wa Ula, to love Allah, the might is sublime. And Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, He mentioned, قُلْ إِن كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهَ. Naam, say to the Muhammad, if you're really making a claim that you love Allah. So this shows you that the first level of love is to Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. Then Allah told the Prophet, told them, فَاتَّبِعُونِي, follow me, Muhammad ibn Abdullah, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his prophet, his messenger to humanity. So loving Allah is the first level of muhabba, وَكَذَلِكَ, and تُحِبُّ مَا تُحِبُّ اللَّهِ, now, وَيَرْضَى, that you, the second level, you love what Allah He loves. You love what Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala loves. If Allah Azza wa Jalla loves Islam, you have to love Islam. If Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala يحب Jibreel or Mikael, Naam, He loves Jibreel, He loves Mikael, you have to love them. مش مثل الذين لهم بغضاء Jibreel. Not like those who have hostilities toward Jibreel. They curse Jibreel. Like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, من كان عدو لجبريل فإنه ماذا نزله على قلبك بإذن الله. And whosoever shows hostilities, hatred, doesn't love Jibreel, the one that we have blessed him and commanded him, O Muhammad, to bring the Quran and place it upon your heart by the permission of Allah. من كان عدوا لله وملائكته وكتبه ورسوله وجبريل ميكائيل إن الله عدو للكافرين. Now, whoever is an enemy to Allah, to his books, to his angels, mean they don't love Allah, his book, and his angels. They don't love Jibreel, Mikael. Then Allah gives that back, and he doesn't love you either. Hakada. So this, muhabba, to love Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala, and tuhibbu ma tuhibbu Allah, wa yarda, and to love that which Allah he loves and that which he is pleased with. One tuhibbu ma yuhibbu Allah, man yuhibbu Allah, and to love those whom Allah he loves. Love Allah, number one. Love what Allah loves, number two. Number three, love whom Allah Azza wa Jal he loves. Naam. Allah yuhibbu anbiya wal mursaleen. Naam. Allah he loves the prophets and messengers.
Battery is low.
He loves the prophets and messengers. He loves the prophets and messengers. Wallahu musta'an. So you have to love Allah and his messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You must love the believers. You must love those who are the Muslims now. Say my battery is low. I need the masjid mic. It's going to die on me any minute.
Battery is low.
أيوة أنا أعرفه. حسب الله ونعم الوكيل. Wallah, I don't know where the masjid mic is at. Yeah, this battery is going to die. So we're still on muhabba. Lahza swaya. If you can hold, inshallah, for a minute. Barakallahu feekum. So the muhabba, to love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to love what Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala he loves, and whom Allah azza wa jalla he loves, this is part of the teeth that goes to the key to your shahada. You cannot be a Muslim and not love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, of course. You cannot be a Muslim and not love what Allah he loves, of course. You cannot be a Muslim and not love whom Allah Azza wa Jal he loves. This is the opposite of muhabba, to dislike Allah Azza wa Jal, to dislike the legislation of Tabarak wa Ta'ala, or some things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned. I said, ذَلِكَ بِأَنَّهُمْ كَرِهُوا مَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ. Their disbelief in the punishment of Allah, he said this because they dislike, they don't love, they hate, they despise what Allah has sent down in legislation. And then Allah said, فَأَعْضَتْ أَعْمَالَهُمْ. Thus their actions have been nullified by that dislike, by that lack of love, by that disdaining what Allah has sent down. And this means, as the ulama of tafsir said, either they disdain all of what Allah has sent down, or certain parts, as Allah said, أَفَتُؤْمِنُونَ بِبَعْضِ الْكِتَابِ وَتَكْفُرُونَ بِبَعْضِ. Do you disbelieve in parts of the book and believe in other parts? Now, and we mentioned some benefits around this before. Wallah musta'an, different aspects of the religion, such as Aqd al-Zawaj. We know this is jihad for the ladies. The fact that Allah started with mathna, for marrying two women. Every woman by default wants her husband to herself, but wallahi, the issue of hating this, despising this, saying, I'm not with this. If you do it, I'm going to kill him. If you do it, I'm going to leave. And feeling hatred in the heart, even though you say, no, I'm not against it, I'm just not with it. Nah. A person has to make himself love that part of the religion
And if the husband was to do it and do it properly, the lady has no anger or no dislike or no problems towards that. She has to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make her strong, to make her love it. Yani the idea yani of more than one wife or man cannot be disliked at all, because this is yani the opposite of muhabbah. Likewise, some people, they don't believe that they should take care of the wife. Say, well, she's grown, she works, she has money, why should I pay all the bills? Allah musta'an. And this is haram, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, out of his wisdom, has legislated both of them. That which a man has to do from the role of taking care of his family, and the allowance, on the other hand, that the man can have more than one department of his family, more than one yani wife. They're all one unit as a family. Islam, we're all brothers and sisters. This is all from the knowledge of Allah Ta'ala. And there are many other issues that fall into this category, such as hating to cover. Wallahi, some women despise covering. And we don't mean a scarf on their head and skinny jeans. That's not covering. We mean properly, with loose-fitting clothing. And yeah, it's natural for her to say, man, this is hot, you know, under this garment. Yeah, that's why they have different fabrics, and, you know, women, you know, they should be hydrated and so forth. But rather hate hijab, proper hijab, meaning covering the body. No, this is disbelief. This is disbelief. And it's something that is the opposite of muhabbah. Now, likewise, barakallahu fikum, we mentioned to the men the fact that he should not be beaten on his wife. Some men, they hate that. They think they have the ability because he's strong, you know, he's the man. You cannot dislike or hate the fact that you should be patient, you know, with the women. You know, the shortcomings, the tongues, should be tolerant. There's some portions of the religion. This is some portions of the religion. The man, they don't like. So, man, I'm not with that. She says something to me, I'm going to punch her in the mouth. This is yani not muhabbah, loving how Allah designed, loving how Allah legislated for us. Then this yani has to be understood. We need to revisit these issues and look at these issues, because they are the keys to the shahada. Now, and many other things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has legislated, has made, you know, okay. You know, this yani, is for the people to love and to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to purify us and to make us strong as it relates to those things, because you have to love Allah, love that which Allah loves, and to love whom Allah tabarak wa ta'ala He loves. Now, as for the sixth condition, al-inqiyadu. Al-inqiyadu. Al-inqiyadu is simply to yani, have obedience to Allah, to comply with Allah, that which He tells you to do it, not to be a renegade. And I forgot to say, going back to the muhabba, the love, they said that muhabba munafi yani madal al-baghda. It is yani, that which nullifies and negates hostilities and hatred. Likewise, hostilities and hatred will nullify your love, muhabba. Look at the fighting and arguing between the Muslims, relentlessly fighting and arguing between the Muslims. Look at this issue, and we know that it is removing the love, it is removing the generosity, it is removing the mercy, it is removing the consideration. Now, so just as yani muhabba munafi al-baghda, it would wipe away and nullify hostilities, hatred, and aggressions, then hostilities, hatred, and aggressions will nullify or wipe away the love too. And that's why we've been commanded not to fight, not to argue, not to yani, differ and divide. Allah musta'an. Now we're moving to number 6 in qiyad, as we had started. Yani supplying yourself with obedience, making sure that you are conforming with what Allah tabarak wa ta'ala has commanded you. You have to obey Allah. This is inqiyad, compliance. And also, yani, they say inqiyad, yani, compliance and submission. taslima, to submit to Allah wa ta'ala. So this is in line with the shahada, that you obey Allah. And many people think that obeying Allah is corny these days. Wallah. They think that the obedience has no correlation to good things in our life. Likewise, they downplay the issue of sin, disobedience, which is the opposite. So when you'll find disasters, Allah wa ta'ala mentioned about Asifa, and the Rih, the wind, and the hurricanes, as we say, and the tornadoes, and the people being flooded and drowned out in the Quran. Allah describes them as punishments because of the sins of the people. He destroyed them by these methods. Therefore, it's not proper for us to say, storm Irma, or hurricane Sandy. La. You're saying that Sandy destroyed this and Irma destroyed that. Human names. No, it is Allah He destroyed by this method. It is Allah wa ta'ala who commanded this water or this wind to do the acts of destruction. Why? Because of the sins of the people. Because of the lack of obedience to Allah Jalla wa Ula. And this day and time, Allah, the world is working hard to remove this reality. They're working hard to flush the Tawheed down the drain. They do not want to even acknowledge the possibility that this could even be a warning from Allah, let alone a punishment. This is due to the lack of inqiyad, the lack of obeying Allah wa ta'ala. And obeying Allah in qiyad, yunafi, al-madha, al-tarik. It wipes away abandonment. If you obey Allah, it wipes away disobedience. If you obey Allah, it wipes away that which is renegating from His command. Now, then the last one, barakallahu fikum, madha, of the conditions of La ilaha illallah, which is the key to Jannah. The last one is qabul. Qabul. Qabul means acceptance. To accept that which Allah wa ta'ala has given us. And this qabul, barakallahu fikum, that means that whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala legislate, we accept it, we take it. We don't deny it. We don't reject it. Nah. There's many people, they say, well, you don't have to do that, sister. How many times have the sisters heard that as it relates to covering? You don't have to dress like that, sister. Sister, you don't have to cover. Allah, He knows your heart. You don't have to wear hijab. They even go a step further. They say, well, this is Arab culture. If you go back and you look, many people were covering before the legislation of Islam in some kind of way. They were wearing loose clothing because this is befitting in the desert. This is befitting in the desert to wear loose clothing and to wear something that will keep the body temperature cool, because you're in the heat, so you want the body to be cool. This is something that the people from Bani Israel used to wear. The people in the desert, this is the dress of the people in the desert, be it African, Arab, Asian, and many of them were all one civilization before colonization. We're still trying to figure out how the Arabs, Africans, and Asians became different continents. When you look at the old maps, they were all one continent. Now, they were all one continent when we talk about this issue of history and so forth. So the compliance we mentioned prior in qiyad, now qabul, to accept. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows that the people rejecting this day and time, that which is one of the biggest tricks, and that is there is an issue of tawheed for the believer. There is an issue of being upon clear guidance, and that which they like to say monotheism for the believer. As for the Jew, the Christian, and the Muslim concept, we're all upon tawheed, then this is the opposite of qabul. This not accepting that which Allah wa ta'ala has mentioned. From that which Allah has mentioned is that we're not all the same. Is the one who knows equal to the one who does not know? So they don't know that Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala does not have a son. And don't know here means they have a legitimacy. No, don't know sometimes mean you know, but you treat it as if you don't know. As Allah said, وَنَبَثُوهُ وَرَاءَ ظُهُورِهِمْ, and they put the book behind their back. What does this mean? Literally? No. This means they act as if they didn't know anything about that part of the scripture. To do what they would like to do. While other parts, to their advantage, يَشْتَرُوا بِهِ ثَمَنًا قَلِيلًا, they use it to monopolize a small worldly gain as it compares to the hereafter. The gain is small. If it be billions you accomplish from this type of manipulation of certain parts of the people's life and their religion, it's a small gain if you compare it to the treasures and the everlasting benefit of the hereafter. So you find this with the issue of acceptance, qabul, that you accept something and you reject something, or you reject all, and this is the seventh condition of the shahada. As for the thamin, the eighth one, then they say al-kufran na bi kulli ma siwa Allah qada alaha, yani everything that is made equal in worship to Allah, then it has to be disbelieved in. As Allah mentioned, وَمَنْ يَكْفُرْ بِالطَّاغُوتِ, you have to negate and you have to affirm. Everything has negation and affirmation. Therefore, you must negate all of the false deities in order for your affirmation, your agreeing that there is no deity worthy of worship except Allah. You have to deny all of those false deities that they should be worshipped. And that's why the scholars, they say lastly in the line of poetry, ilmun يقين إخلاص وصدق مع محبة والانقياد والقبول لها وزاد ثامن كفران كل أشياء سوى الله قد ألها. Naam, and this is the line of poetry in which you have the 8 conditions of the shahada, that which they are the teeth to the key. As Wahb ibn Munabbah, he said, however, but to every key there is teeth. And if the key has teeth, then it will open. And if it does not have teeth, it will not open. Naam. Barakallahu fikum. Hada wa sallallahu wa sallam wa barak ala rasulih al-kareem wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa sallama tasliman kathira walhamdulillah rabbil alameen. That's the conditions of Islam from the perspective and the title, the subject matter, Miftah and ila Jannah, the key to the paradise, and every key has its teeth. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen, wa sallallahu wa sallam wa barak ala rasulih al-kareem wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa sallam tasliman kathira wa ba'd. Al-huquq da'a ilayhi al-fitra. The biggest rights that Islam propagates, the biggest rights that Islam tells us we have to uphold. We mentioned this was an essay by Imam Muhammad bin Salih al-Uthaymeen, rahimahullah ta'ala, and we will take, inshaAllah ta'ala, this lesson in brief. There are 10 rights. The first one, حق الله تبارك وتعالى جل وعلا وهو يعني أعظم وهو أجل, the greatest out of all of the rights, the most magnificent out of all of them, the rights of Allah Ta'ala, the rights of Allah Jalla wa'ala. That's the first one. The second one, Barakallahu fikum, Haqq Rasulillahi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the rights of the Prophet sallam, things we have to do towards him as a messenger alayhi salatu wa salam. And the ulama, they mention, وَهُوَ أَعْظَمَ الْحَقِّ لِلْبَشَرِيَّةِ, it is the greatest right to a human being, the right of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's number 2. Number 3, haqq al-walidain. Haqq al-walidain. The rights of the parents. As haqq means a right, haqq means rights. So that was a slip of the tongue. I want to say haqq. Haqq al-walidain. The rights of the parents. Rights of the parents is a great issue. It's so great that Allah sometimes brings it right after the right of his to worship him subhanahu wa ta'ala. Number 3, haqooqul walidain, haqooq, the rights of the parents. Number 4, barakallahu fikum yuqulun mada al haqooq ulad, haqooqul ulad, the rights of the children. What a great responsibility, the rights and things that are owed to the children. Number 4. Number 5, barakallahu fikum haqooq bayna zawjain, the rights between spouses. What a great responsibility. It's not just someone wants to have a bit of honey. No, it's not just putting some honey on the moon, but it's responsibilities, rights that are due one to another, role play and commitment. Haqooq bayna zawjain, the rights between the spouses, is number 5. Number 6, al-haq mada al-haqooq, yani haqooq al-jiran, the rights of the neighbor, the rights of the neighbor. And the Prophet ﷺ, he used to mention them so much. The companion said they thought he was going to say, and also add them to your will. Subhanallah, the rights of the neighbor. And whether they be Muslim or non-Muslim, male or female, they have a right. They have a tremendous right upon you. So much so, the Prophet ﷺ said, لا يؤمن من كان يؤمنون بالله واليوم الآخر فلا يؤذي جاره. Whoever believes that he's going to meet Allah, whoever believes in Allah and the last day, then let him not annoy his neighbor. Let him not harm his neighbor. Now, in another wording, he said, فَلْيُكْرِمْ جَارَهُ, let him honor and treat with great respect his neighbor. So this is number 6, haqooq al-jiran, the rights of the neighbor. Number 7, barakallahu fikum, na mada al-haqooq lil al-haqooq mada bayna al-sultan wal ra'yatihi, and the rights between the government and their people. The citizens have rights that the people in charge have to give us, the citizens. And they have rights that we have to give them as the people over us. And one of those rights that are mutual is that we work together. That the government should support and take care of and facilitate for his citizens. And the citizens should cooperate to make things smooth, not to uprise, not to renegade against, not to do crimes and corrupt the society. But you find this being violated all the time, and this is haqooq, the rights between the people in charge and the citizens. We have rights one to another. Number 7 is that. Number 8, barakallahu fikum haqooq li'abr as-sabil wal musafirin والضعفاء. Now, the rights of the one who's traveling, the one who's passing through, and those who are the weak, or they have a disadvantage. And they mentioned like the handicapped, like the women and the children. And this is not to degrade the women and the children, but people abuse them because they have a side of manipulation. They have a side of entry, because of their disposition. You can get to them in a way that they will let their guard down, and you can harm them, or you can overpower them, because Allah made the male species stronger in some areas, where women are stronger than men in some areas. Men are stronger than women in other areas, stronger than children, in other areas, as it relates to power and dealing with emotions and kindnesses and weaknesses. So these are I believe the 8th one, the rights to these people. The one who's passing through has the right that you help them out. Although today it's a bit sticky because you don't know who's who. No one should expect a person because he pops up in town, says he's Muslim, that people freely just bring him to their house and feed him and let him lounge around, their family. No, you have to know who's who. But in a society where people are tight-knit, people know one another, then, if a person is passing from A to B or C, then this is proper to look after them in that regard. Even if you can't trust them to allow them to stay in your house, you can give them in these days and time a couple of dollars for a room. You can give them a couple of dollars for something to eat. You can give them something that you have prepared to eat. There's still a way to give them their right as a passer by or one who's passing through. The musafirin, the people who are traveling, have a great right. The people who have a disability have a great right on the mujtama, on the society. The Muslim society and the non-Muslim society alike has a right they have to give to the one who's disadvantaged, handicapped, or one who's weak. Now, and this is from the rahmah of Allah and His legislation that He has demanded us to do that. Number 9, حقوق al-Muslimin, حقوق al-Muslimin, the rights of the Muslim. Muslims have rights. Just by the entrance into the religion of Islam, you have rights. As Rasulullah said, حق المسلم على المسلم خمسة. And one narration, Abu Hurairah said Muslims have 5 rights one to another. Does that mean that's it? No. This is the least. In another narration, he said sitta, as if one time when he was narrating, he forgot one of them, and then another time he remembered, oh yeah, this one. And the scholars said this does not harm the narration that he said 5 one place and then he said 6 the other time, because actually the 6th one was the addition. When you look at what he said when he said there's 5, and if you look at what he said when he said there's 6, they're the same 5 conclusively. He just added the one that some scholars said possibly he forgot. So the point is, Muslims have rights, things they have to deliver one to another, and this is a great right. If we would observe this part of the thing that Islam propagates, wallahi, we'll be in a better shape just amongst ourselves. We'll be in a better shape throughout the world. But we don't observe the rights one to another. We do not care about one or another in general. In most cases, that the Muslim is the one that will harm you first. A'adhu billah. He will do more harm to you than the non-Muslim. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. He is the one that will take your rights when he should be given the rights one to another, the Muslim. May Allah help us. Ameen. And then the last right is, that's the 9th right, the rights of the Muslims between themselves. Haqul ghayr muslimin, the rights of the non-Muslim. The rights to the non-Muslim. From amongst them is that you don't harm them. This is nothing but a plot, a devilish, demonish slander, and a horrible tactic to run the people away from Islam, that they make the people think just because someone believes different, all of the Muslims hate them and want to fight against them and kill them. This is the biggest lie ever told. Salam, he lived amongst both pagans at one time and the Jews, and he was interacting with people that came into contact with him from the Christians. So he dealt with both Christians and Jews, and they both accepted Islam willingly during the time of the Prophet. And you didn't find the Prophet showing any disrespect to them. Did not find him showing disrespect to them because they were Jews and Christians. But when it came to establishing authority in the upper hand in the land, then certain things were legislated. But this was not to disrespect them. As Rasulullah prohibited that you begin or that you initiate salams to the Jew and the Christian. This was not out of disrespect, but this was out of the reality that the meaning of assalamu alaikum is also inclusive in the meaning, may Allah not put you in the fire forever. When you say assalamu alaikum to somebody, this is meaning to them, may Allah keep you safe from any harm. May Allah keep you safe from any trial and tribulation. May Allah cure you if you fall into something of a fate. May Allah not allow you to be punished in the grave. May Allah bless you to be free from sin. May Allah bless you to be a person who's upon what's right. And may Allah spare you from the fire in the end. All of this is inclusive in the meaning of salamu. So if Allah has said about those people, they know better. They changed the scripture. They know who's Muhammad. But they are doing this purposely out of stubbornness, then there's no way they're going to be spared from the punishment in this life, neither in the hereafter. So to make that invocation for them is actually an issue of the opposite of board. You are not accepting what Allah has said about those people. Therefore, the Prophet ﷺ has prohibited us, has prevented us from initiating the salams to the Jew and Christian. However, if they say to you, Assalamu alaikum, you can say back to them, Wa alaikum or alaikum. And some of the companions used to say, Wa alaikum salam, the full greeting back to them, as this is the meaning of saying Wa alaikum to someone or alaikum. Same to you now. But the point is that the Prophet did not establish and make this a part of the deen on his own. This is something that, again, everything is revealed from Allah Ta'ala to the Prophet. Even the Sunnah came down. As the scholars said, the Sunnah was revealed to the Prophet just like Quran was revealed. So his actions and statements are all revelation. So this was not to disrespect them. This was to show strength to the Muslim that was being downtrodden. This was to show the difference between us and them, as Allah Azza wa Jal has made us, yani Deen al-Hanifa, a religion, a people of worshiping Allah alone, while they took partners with Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. So the point is that this right between us and the non-Muslim, it's free from harming them, ridiculing them, belittling them, and if it's free from those things, then of course shedding their blood and fighting with them, warring with them because of what they believe, it's out the question as well. The only time you fight with a people is when they fight with you. When they want to fight with you, then that's when you fight with them. Or if they come to invade you, to take you out, wipe you out, you fight with them. Other than that, just because they believe one way and we believe another way, then this does not mean that you harm them, you disrespect them, you belittle them. No. Also from amongst the rights, لَنَا نُبَيَّنْ نَعْمْ لَهُمْ الشُّبُهَاتِ وَأَنْ نُبَيَّنْ لَهُمْ الْحَقِّ مِنَ اللَّهِ سُبْحَانَهُ وَتَعَالَى. And that from the rights we have, lastly, between us and the non-Muslims, we have to clarify to them misconceptions. We have to tell them that which Allah has commanded us to tell them, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala huwa ilahun wahid. He is the one that we should worship alone. He is the one that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned, تُولِجُ اللَّيْلَ فِي النَّهَارِ وَتُولِجُ النَّهَارِ فِي اللَّيْلِ. He is the one responsible for night and day coming and going as a mercy to us. He is the one who anzala ilayna ma min as-sama'i. He sends the water down from the heavens for us as a blessing. He is the one yuhyi wa yumitu wa huwa ala kulli shay'in qadir. He is the one who gives life to you after you were nothing and then causes you to die after you were here, and he has power over all things. Laysa kamithlihi shay'. Nothing is like subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nothing is like him. Glory be to him, the one who's above, being like his creation. We will not have to say to them, if you don't accept Islam, you're going to hell. No, the Prophet didn't speak like that to the non-Muslim. Although it's a reality, we don't die on what's right, we can go to hell too. We don't give them their right and talk to them in that regard. And Allah Musta'an, from amongst their rights, if you fight with them and they make peace, then you honor the peace treaty. And that which from amongst their rights, if you engage in the fight with them, you don't kill the priests, the rabbi, the women, the children, the animals, you don't harm the water. This is from amongst the greatest rights, the Muslim to the non-Muslim. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that he helps us and bless us to benefit from these rights that Islam propagates, some of the biggest and the most untold from amongst them to the world. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to preserve his deen in the hearts of the believers and on the face of the earth. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala an yadafu an had deen al-mubin, that he defends this clear deen, and yuzhirahu ala wajhi al-ard kullih, and that he makes it widespread throughout the earth, وأن يدمر الَّذِينَ يُكَذِّبُونَ فِيهِ, and that He wipes away and removes those who lie upon the religion. وَأَنْ يُدَمِّرُ كُلَّ إِرْهَابٍ, and that He removes all and destroys all of the terrorists. وَأَنْ يَهْدِيَنَا إِلَى السَّبِيلِ الرَّشَادِ, and that He guides us all to a proper guidance and that which is the true Islam. وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على رسوله الكريم وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم تسليما كثيرا والحمد لله رب العالمين. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept from us this good deed and to bless our brothers and sisters in this area, Masjid Tawheed in Middletown. We conclude our seminar of 3 weeks. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless us for our da'wah efforts. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us strong, to give us that which is firmness and that which is knowledge that produces good actions. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for His forgiveness and His mercy, and we ask Allah to make us die upon Islam and the Sunnah. Sallallahu alaihi wa sallam Rasul al-Kareem wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa sallam tasliman kathira. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Wa barakallahu feekum. No questions today, inshallah. Tabarak wa ta'ala. Allah.